Hi guys, this is Weekly Wax Melts numbers 42 and 43. Yeah, I had my husband home for a week, so again, I am late. Hopefully that will be remedied now. Not that I want him gone as much as he's gone, but it was nice to have him home for, actually it was 10 days, which was very, very nice. Not so nice for our bank account, especially since his truck was in the shop, and if this truck's not moving, you know, there's no money coming in, and then you've got the expense of what it costs to have the truck repaired. But still, the time that he was home was absolutely priceless to both of us. So before I get started with the review, I wanted to mention that Victoria has added 33 new scents this month, and each and every one of them sounds more fantastic than the next. I did not write them all down. You'll have to go to her page, www.candlesbyvictoria.com, and check all those out to make it a little easier for you to find those. If you go up to where the little default tab is, you can then arrange things so that the newest scents are listed first. So I'm very, very anxious to check out those. She added a marshmallow scent, and then she did some marshmallow combinations and some pink sugar combinations, and everything just sounded fantastic. She's also reformulated her wax, which I am loving. I mean, I've always loved her product, period, but I really, really like this new wax formulation. The wax is a lot softer. I've always used just a butter knife to cut my scent shots, and there were some that sometimes were kind of a pain in the ass, to be truthful, because they would crumble and crack and break. But now that she's reformulated this wax so that it's softer and will therefore melt in all varieties of warmers, I really, really like it. I never had a problem with it melting because I've always used a hot plate warmer, but not everyone uses those. Some people use a Scentsy warmer, and those did not get hot enough to melt Victoria's previous wax formula. But it will melt them now, so be sure you give that a check out too. On with the review. I melted iced orange bundt cake. I really liked this. I would have liked it more had I gotten equal parts of the orange and the cake, but I didn't. This was a little heavier on the orange to me, and not that this was a heavy scent at all, because it wasn't. It was actually quite light when it went in the warmer. So I really did enjoy this one. I just wish it had been a little bit stronger and a little heavier on the cake note, but it was lovely. I melted pumpkin cupcake. This is fantastic. I am such a fan of Victoria's pumpkin scents, and her pumpkin scents are always a little bit more earthy smelling to me and a little bit spicy, and this is as well. But then you get this really rich cakey note in here. So if you're a fan of pumpkin pralines, which is my favorite pumpkin scent from Victoria thus far, definitely give this one a try. This one, in my opinion, is sweeter and less buttery than pumpkin pralines. So if that butter note throws you off, and I know it does, it throws a lot of people off. They can't take that rich, heavy, buttery scent that I like so much. This was delicious. My husband loved that one. He loves pumpkin pralines too, so that was a hit for both of us. I melted vanilla hazelnut. This was really, really good. Right now, for some reason, and I have no idea why, this almost smells like Bailey's Irish Cream to me. It did not, however, when it was in the warmer, smell like that. Not that that's a bad thing. I think that's actually a good thing. And it might be because a lot of Victoria's vanilla scents are a little bit perfumey, so maybe it's making it smell a little bit alcohol-like to me. I don't know. Anyway, once it went in the warmer, it was so sweet and yummy, and I did get equal parts of the vanilla and the peanut butter. And actually what this smelled like to me was, I'm sure everybody's seen them, but I'm not sure exactly what they're called. They're cookies that are kind of shaped like a peanut, and then they have the, you know, the rougher textured peanut looking outside and then a peanut butter filling. That's what this smelled like to me, was those peanut butter shaped cookies. It was delicious. Tangerine, I really, really like this one a lot. And this had a wonderful, wonderful throw. It is more sour than Victoria's traditional, I don't know if that's the word I should have been using. Probably not. It is a bit more tart and a little bit more green than Victoria's typical, that's what I meant to say, orange scents. This one does smell like a tangerine, and actually, if I said this when I got it cold and melted it, or smelled it. Boy, I am really tripping over my tongue today, aren't I? I'm sweating my butt off, too. When winter left the Northwoods, summer immediately moved in. It's actually been 85 degrees here the past couple of days. Anyway, I mentioned when I first got this, when I smelled it cold, that there's a ride inside the Epcot wall, which I should have went and looked up the name of it because I can't remember now. But there's a section in there where they spray like this tangerine scent to replicate the smell of the orange groves in Florida. And that is exactly what this smells like to me, is that same orange scent on that ride at Epcot. So I love that. It's memory inducing and just a scent. I love Victoria's citrus scents, which I've said numerous times in the past. Coconut Banana Blast. This was really good. It's exactly what it says it is. It's that coconut that most people really, really enjoy from Victoria. I've had a lot of coconut scents that I did not like, and I do not like edible coconut. Victoria's coconut scents, however, are among my favorites. And then you get that nice, sweet, candied banana. However, when this went in the warmer, the banana kind of hid in the background a bit, and the coconut really came forward. So I get equal parts when it's cold. I get more coconut when it's warm, but you do get the sweet candy-like scents from the banana, just not as much as I would have liked. Raspberry Violet, this has been one of my favorite florals for a long time. It's actually more floral than fruity, in my opinion, but it's one of those nice, delicate, not overpowering, headache-inducing florals. This one to me actually smells like, now I'm going to date myself here, but in the late 60s, there were little dolls similar to strawberry shortcake dolls, but these things were only about like this big, and you could get them like inside of a necklace or inside of a, well, it was like this big locket. I think some of them came in a picture frame. Anyway, they were called little kittles, I think, and some of them were scented. That's exactly what this smells like to me. This is fantastic. I only met my maternal grandfather once in my life, and it was when he came here to visit from California when I was 6 years old, in the late 60s, and he bought my sister and I each one of those little kittles, and mine smelled exactly like this. So this is another memory-inducing scent for me, and I love that one. Speaking of love, LoveBirds. This is so good. Tina came up with the combo of this. It's a combination of Love Spell and Birds of Paradise, and it is fantastic. It's a little perfumey from the Love Spell, but then you get this really yummy, sweet strawberry from the LoveBird, or from, see, there I go again. I am not editing. From the Birds of Paradise, which to me smells like rich, creamy strawberries. If you haven't tried this one, if you're a fan of fruity florals, or if you're a fan of more fruity smelling perfumes, but you don't want anything that's overpoweringly strong, just something very sweet and delicate and feminine, definitely give this one a try. And I'm not sure why, again, it's just my weird nose, but today this one is smelling a little bit like a fruity wine cooler to me, which is also not a bad thing. Okay, now, last week, whoops, might as well start with that one since it jumped out at me, I melted sea moss. This is really good. If you like scents like watercress and aloe, I think you would really, really like this one. It's fresh, it's clean, it's slightly cologne-y, and then you get that little hint of salt that for me doesn't necessarily work in most scents, but for some reason does in more of the cleaner type scents. So slightly salty, slightly green, very, very fresh, clean, and wonderful. I really enjoyed that one. Chocolate covered cherries, another memory inducing scent for me, mainly because every year my grandfather got boxes and boxes and boxes of chocolate covered cherries from my family for Christmas. Now there are two types of chocolate covered cherries. There are the chocolate covered cherries that have more of a cream center, and then there are the chocolate colored cherries that have more of a liquid center. To me, this smells more like the one with the liquid center. It was wonderful. Now, some people feel, and I'm one of them, who feel that Victoria's cherry scent on its own, like her wild cherry, can almost be too strong and can smell a little bit like cough syrup. But I am finding that tempered with something else, or, you know, when something else is added to it, like, for instance, the chocolate in this, and there have been a couple others that I've tried recently, that cherry gets toned down a little bit, and it just becomes, it's becoming one of my favorites. A lot of her cherry scents are becoming favorites with me. I really, really like this. And if you're not familiar with what liquid centered chocolate covered cherries smell like, another way I would describe this one is that it smells very, very much like a cherry Tootsie Pop. I really like what the chocolate did for this. Some of the chocolate scents have become far too sweet for me since I've quit smoking, but when you add that sweetness of the chocolate with the sourness of the cherry in here, this is 5-star. This was excellent. Had excellent throw as well. Cucumber Lime Twist is another one that I loved. Victoria's cucumber scents are always very fresh and very clean, and that little bit of lime in here does give it just that added twist that sets it apart from some of the other clean scents. I really, really like this. Again, I like almost all of Victoria's citrus scents, and especially the lime and the oranges. So this was great. Another one of those really fresh, clean, sort of similar to watercress and aloe type scents. Loved that one. My husband really liked that one. Goldilocks. I've had this in the past, but it's been a long time, and I forgot how much I like this scent. This is fantastic. It's extremely complex, so you can't pick out any one note. But I know there's citrus in here, there's some vanilla, there's some floral, there's some patchouli. Don't let that scare you, because it's so mild that if I didn't know it was in here, I would not have been able to pick it out. Other people might be able to, I can't, but I happen to like the scent of patchouli. This is so good. Another really fresh, really clean. It's slightly musky, but not in the same way that like Peace is, although it does smell somewhat similar to Peace. This is stronger than Peace in my opinion, but if you like that scent, or if you like bath time with Pooh, I would definitely give this one a try. This is delicious. This is one that I would melt throughout my whole house, and one that I honestly don't think very many people would find offensive in any way. I think this is a scent that if it doesn't necessarily appeal to everybody, it's definitely not going to be one of those scents that puts people off either. At least I don't think it would be. Dragonfruit, this was really nice as well. Now I mainly ordered this one not only because it was new, but because I love Power C vitamin water, which is made with dragonfruit. And this does smell somewhat similar to that. But I guess it smells more to me like another of those fruity florals. This was really, really good. Now the florals I can handle if they're sweet or if they're fruity. Most of them. There are some that I can't, but this was wonderful. Very, very nice for the summer months. I would definitely order that one again. Another that I would reorder is Grape Soda. Another that I was surprised by. Now, it is heavier on the Fizzy Pop scent to me than it is on the grape, but it's so nice. It's one of those scents that you smell it, you almost instantly know what it is supposed to be replicating. Or if you don't know that it's supposed to be grape soda, you know it's supposed to be grape something, like, you know, a grape popsicle or Kool-Aid. But you do get the effervescence out of this that you get from the Fizzy Pop. And it's kind of sweet and sour at the same time, and just one of those scents that reminds me of summer, and instantly I smell that and I smile. Why I smile, I don't know, I just do. And lastly, I melted Pearberry Delicious. This is also really good. Another memory-inducing scent. Smells like my mom. My mom used to wear Pearberry Delicious body spray. So she switches things up a lot. So it's never the same scent with her, but this smells like my mother. Normally, Victoria's pear scents, to me, do not smell like true pear. They smell more like a perfumey type pear, as does this. But there's also strawberry in this. So the added sweetness of the strawberry did something to the pear that just really made me like this. Even if it didn't smell like my mother, I would have liked this one. This one is very strong, has an excellent throw. I melted this one actually yesterday or the day before, I don't remember which now. Day before, I believe. And because it has been so warm here, I had all the windows open and the fans were going, and I could still smell it. And I used, as you can see, it was just half a cent shot. So that's it for this week, guys. As always, thank you for watching. Don't forget to go and check out Victoria's website and those new scents that she added. And have a fantastic week. I'll see you next time.